And this is the CCF unit, Charlie Frank, named by myself after these three names. CCF. What we've been asked to do is detach it from the main, and it implies disconnecting some electrical that takes it, which connects this panel right here. See, has been disconnected already, but there's two main cables that run to the center panel, and as well as what I called the blue block, which is attached to the CCF unit right here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave it attached to it by disconnecting it from the main unit by undoing nuts and bolts here, 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 and get your yoga classes up to date here. In undoing all these nuts and bolts, we're gonna pay real care to two things. One being this, because I'm sure once this comes off, this unit will, by the way it is situated, just basically hanging only by this, will be probably moving, shifting to the side. So we're gonna make sure that it won't get damaged. And this unit right here, once we take those four off, it'll basically be loose. We're just gonna lay it over here in a way that it won't get damaged during transportation. We're also gonna undo this connection right here through this faucet. We're gonna undo this connection right here, pretty easy. That we're gonna detach the CCF unit from the inside here by undoing these two screws, and then the unit will just detach. Of course, also by undoing the two bolts and nuts at the bottom, as well as on this side, two bolts and nuts here, resistance. This pipe right here will have to be disconnected, as well, and these U's right here, 1 and 2 right there. Once those all come off, then we will be able to push the CCF unit away from the main. Also disconnecting, we'll be disconnecting this this here. Alright, so before we detach the CCF unit from the main unit, there was some electrical wiring to the two rotors and to the panel on the machine right there that had to be done, and it's pretty easy. So what we did, we bunched it all up. It's 4 cables pretty much, and and an air cable and an air pipe. We detached the and bunched together the 4 of them. So these are the 2 going to the blue rotors, and they're identifiable with their names, which is M500 and M200, and these are labeled as well, M200, M500 right there. I've labeled them 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and as well here, so whoever connects them back knows where exactly to connect them. So 1, 2, 3, and down here as well, 1, 2, 3. The 2 cables that go back to the front unit, they have a bunch of smaller connections that are all numbered with yellow rings. They're all numbered, each and every one of them. I put this bag to keep them all together. And yes, so this cable right here, these 2 cables, 1 and 2, right here, will run all the way back here and enter from here. We have marked them as 01 and 03, as well as at the other end. And just for whoever will be the guy reconnecting this stuff together, basically all those numbers, all those connections that have numbers with the yellow rings basically are matched on this box number by number. The recommendation that we have, being this a very very tight space to work with, is to detach this piece from the railing that's holding it and proceed to connect each wire and then reframe that back onto the railings. Everything has been disconnected with the utmost care and has been labeled, so I'm pretty confident that any electrician that will have to put this back together will have an easy, a pretty easy and safe transaction in doing that. Alright, the first CCF unit has been detached. Wasn't easy, so, but it was done. I've labeled with its serial. Make sure electrical is disconnected. Disconnected at the bottom, disconnected the U's that were holding this pipe to the frame, disconnected these 2 up top, disconnected this pipe, disconnected this one right here, disconnected this one, and here's the blue block as it is right now, disconnected from the main unit. As I thought, this tends to shift to the right, so we'll put it in place for the time being and for the transportation time, but other than that everything looks great. This has been detached okay. That rotor and valve came off completely, so we lay it over to the side and will be secured for the transportation time. The unit itself with the blue block attached is quite heavy, and the center of gravity is a bit to the right because the blue block is definitely the heaviest. So yeah, we'll now proceed to shift it over maybe to a pallet with a siding to make sure to prevent it from tilting. But yeah, it's done, and we placed we filled 2 bags with bolts and nuts, one with the ones just for the blue block, which basically are all the nuts and bolts, and the gaskets that connect the blue block to the main unit here, and here. Now remember that this, which is the bottom back, will connect to the valve and rotor here, which will be placed laying down like this and going in as shown earlier. The second bag basically just contains nuts and bolts and the 2 U's connecting the CCF unit through the bottom there and the opposite side, and here and there through this to this pipe, and here.